well, thank you, Felipe. There's only 2 weeks left in the season from a Leinster point of view, from a domestic point of view. It really doesn't get much bigger, does it, than a semi-final of a competition like this against a team that are almost like a sort of South African full team. It's like a massive international game this going Friday.
Yeah, I think it's exciting, playing the Bulls. They're a very good team with very good players and very well coached. So, yeah, I think for us it's the perfect game. Looking forward to it. Short turnaround and it's sometimes those short weeks. You have to be very diligent on how you prepare, because at the end of the day, that's what you can control, your preparation. So it has to be spot on,
When you look at the threat that they can pose, the type of game that they can play, I'm not saying they're a very physical team or overly physical, but teams that have caused you difficulty in the past, just even a couple of weeks back. I mean, how do you try to counteract that this coming weekend?
Yeah. That's. I think that's the beauty of this competition. The URC brings different sort of challenges, especially when you have teams from South Africa, Scotland, Wales, Ireland who play different. Italy, so you go and just have to work your way and see how within your system and within your philosophy how you adapt it or how you play or try to make the best out of different strategies and against these power-based, territory-based teams we know we sometimes had some difficulties, but it's the challenge of getting better what we can do and trying to impose our sort of game, against a very good team.
How much is it an advantage for you this week that you don't have to travel, that the game is actually at the RDS and the travelling has to be done by your opponents?
Yeah, I think obviously playing at home it is an advantage, and the travel, it's a long travel to South Africa, but that's all the rewards of a long season where you've been playing it was our first game was against Bulls, so it's we for us every single point counts from the beginning of the season, and probably that's the reward of playing at home. Having said that, every game starts 0-0, 0 points for each team, and when it comes to a knockout stage, it's like, yes, home or away. Home you can have slightly a bit of home advantage, but it's a semi-final. It's so even the games, so even the teams that anything can happen throughout the game, and you have to be prepared because they are very, very good side.
Felipe, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much. But before I finish, can I thank you? I don't know if we're going to talk to you before you leave, but thanks a million for everything as a player, as I've met you, and as a coach, and I've met you, and I just wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you again, hopefully, at some stage in the future.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you.
Hi, Felipe. How are things? Joe Caulfield here from Virgin Media. How are you keeping?
Hi, Joe. Good.
Really comprehensive victory over Glasgow last weekend. Will you just talk to me about what really impressed you and what players stood out for you from that win?
Well, look, I think it was a tough game for us, after the massive disappointment or frustration of not winning the Champions Cup and going into that game. It's always a game where, full credit to the players, the way they prepared for that game, the way they came and bounced on the week, and I think the way they performed. I know the result was huge, big, probably even bigger. But if you see the game, we started a bit rattled, and it was that nervousness inside us because we knew we had to put a good performance, and it's very hard to just pinpoint 1, 2, 3 players. I think the whole squad, even the guys that didn't have the opportunity to play, were unbelievably good throughout the week. And especially coming from a frustrated result, and then you have an opportunity and you don't have the chance to play those guys that, you know, they weren't inside the 23. I think they were brilliant. So it will be very unfair to name a few names. You know, I think the way they are tracking, it's unbelievably as a group. You know.
Sorry. Against the Bulls, so you beat the Bulls quite well back in September, but since then they beat Ulster and Munster in South Africa. So what sort of an improvement are you expecting from them, from the team you beat back in September?
Well, to start with, you know, it was a whole new adventure for them, and I think now they have the taste of what's URC, and they got their foot and they got much better. You know, I think they, if I'm not wrong, they are in terms of points, they are from Christmas to the end of the season. They finished second in the table. You know, so that's how good they are. They just got on their feet. They got their track and they started playing some very good rugby. You know, and they're a very, very difficult team to beat. I think maybe we got them off guard. I don't know what was. We were well prepared. We knew how maybe the experience of our years in this competition. We know how important it is to win early in the competition to get, for example, this home advantage and so on. And maybe for them it was part of the learning curve. But now they are on track. It's a semi-final. There's nothing, you know. They have quality players, loads of internationals, very South African team and style, and very well coached. I said, you know, it's a World Cup winner there coaching them. You know, so they know exactly how to play knockout stages.
And finally, just in terms of injuries, I know Johnny Sexton, James Lowe and Ty Furlong are all being assessed this week. Are you hopeful that they'll make it back to the game?
Yeah, hopefully they'll be back for the game. You know, it's as we always said, we always try to set players for success. You know, we're not going to risk something if they're not ready to go and be 100%. For giving the best for the team, because also it's so, this game goes down to so tiny margins that you need to be 100%, you know. So hopefully they'll be fit and hopefully they'll be able for selection. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Felipe.
Cheers.
Hi Felipe, how's it going?
Hi Michael. Good.
How are you? How much value or how much worth is a win like Saturday's game in terms of the opposition and maybe their attitude in the second half or their defensive standards? I understand you focus on your own game, but when you're discussing with the coaches, how much value do you take out of a win like that?
Well, we as you said, we focus on ourselves, you know, and for me the value is when I see, like, when we were winning by 60 points and they make a break and you can see Kieran Frowley not allowing them to score, and then blue jerseys sprinting back to get back in the defensive line. For me, those are the things that get the value, you know, because then you start seeing that some of those habits we speak about, they're instilled in every single player, and those habits are the ones that comes in big days that count, you know. And for me, it doesn't matter the opposition, doesn't matter the result, doesn't matter the way the game is going. When you start seeing that those habits become second nature, that's when you start saying, well, that's the value for us, you know.
And this far into the season and how far you've got in Europe and where you are now, do the lessons that you learned from La Rochelle, do they inform your game plan for this weekend? As in, are you tempted to change up something that has got you this far but didn't get you over the line? Will you have a different approach to taking on the Bulls than you've gone out with this season?
Well, we've got our philosophy of rugby, and we try to get better in what we think we are good at, and we try to get our strength a point of difference, definitely, but we take every single lesson. Not only when you lose, that obviously La Rochelle would be a lesson and so on, but also when we win, we try, even the last weekend, we kept on taking lessons. We started a bit. We didn't have a good start, and that's in knockout stages and semi-finals, finals, you need to have a good start. So that's a lesson we take. Even we won by 70, we scored 76 points. We still learn from it. Definitely, La Rochelle it's a game for us to learn, and we took the lessons and we keep revising them. Now, having said that, it's not that we've been trashed by La Rochelle. We could have, we should have, or we could have won that game. And it goes to so small margins that it's just good. That you're playing against a very, very good team that is La Rochelle, and you can lose, and obviously we need to get better at what we do, and that's our philosophy. And I think if you see from last year to this year, I think we've made an improvement. I think we're playing better rugby. We're a better team, and that's what you can control from your side. In terms of just always moving forward, going on the right direction, and making sure that you're getting better. Other teams will get better as well, and it's not a competition between us and one team or the other, or it's we compete against ourselves to get better, and if we get better, I think we have better chances to get silverware at the end of the year, because Leinster's been there entertaining European rugby, not only the Champions Cup but URC for the last couple of years. So yeah.
And finally, for me, we spoke to Robin, and Leo did some media after the La Rochelle match, but there seemed to be a lot of pain. It was very raw at that stage last week, going back to last week. In the cold light of day, is there something that you identified tactically that you would have changed? I mean, if the game was again tomorrow, were there tactics that could have been employed that you would change?
Well, I think it's very easy to speak hindsight, and obviously from a coach's point of view, with 3 cameras, 4 cameras, and behind a computer, it's on the midst of the day, on that day, how you react, and yeah, we took. I don't know if tactically the game. I think the game we wanted to play. I'll keep trying to play the game. I think it wasn't tactically bad placed, but there are certain moments where we can get better, and certain moments where we could have done something different. But every game is different, and it's hopefully if we get to similar situations, it will never be the same, but similar situations, we can pick better options, or the options we have to pick for in certain situations. But I think overall the game was good. Now there were certain times in the game that we didn't score a try, and you'll ask why, but apart from very good defensively, you were also not allowed to, you were a penalty, and every penalty has 3 penalties. You can pick 3 penalties on the same play, so there's a bit of cynicism also there, so sometimes it's the game it is, and definitely we have to try to improve what we can control, and I think again is making our style of game stronger and better. And I think we are better than last year, and hopefully we can keep on improving, and next year we'll become better, and we'll be again in situations like that to prove ourselves that we are better. Yeah.